Welcome, my Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your 7-card draw. What do I need shadow read for this waning moon in November into December? I'm your reader, Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998, author of Words of Grace. From a professional witch, available on Kindle, link in the description box soon to have a Patreon channel. We're going to talk about it at the end. The Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Hi. Very, very happy to be serving you today. If you are new to the channel, a 7-card draw just means 1 card from 7 different decks to get you clues, tips, and hints from the pantheons of the divine, as I like to call them, about a specific astrological timeline. We are doing a waning moon read, the full to new November, December. Just to give you the deets, because I'm a Virgo, we are looking at the full moon, but it is also a lunar eclipse and void of course all at the same time. It's in Taurus up until the point it goes void of course, but it is at 3:57 a.m. Eastern time. I am in New York. So, you know. So, you know what I'm saying there. Get your stuff done the night before. Thursday night, moon in Taurus is really, really good for prosperity and wealth magic, which is why that's the day I'm launching my Patreon. We'll talk about it at the end. Okay, and then we are looking at the waning moon. Right, releasing shadow work. Letting go, forgiving, alchemy, to the new moon, I should say, on Saturday, December 4th will be new moon in Sagittarius, 2:43 a.m. So you can really wake up with that new moon Sag vibe on a Saturday morning. That sounds lovely time to do that. So how to clear the path to get ready for, you know, planting that new seed. But of course, look back at what you planted at new moon last, starting now with this full moon going forward. So we're going to start with the Caroline Myss archetype deck. All the decks that I read are always in the bottom of the description box. It's a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs to get more information about the timeline we are about to look at, but we always have more than one timeline going on. Your sun and your moon, just for example, might have very different aspects of stuff. Letting go, healing, making room for, clearing. You get it. Please take a nice deep breath out. Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can, because this is what I love. I love doing this. Please take a nice deep breath. And here we go. Right, waiting to inhale. As I call upon the collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of General Assembly, we don't know what this is about yet, the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, as well as the totem animals and spirit animals for the Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, watching this video, receiving this reading. What is the dominant 8th chakra archetype going on over their head in that 8th chakra, affecting everything else underneath it in their chakra system this full to new? The creative family archetype of the athlete. It's not always literal like sports, right? I have the athlete archetype, but I still am a dancer. I never stopped being a dancer. I was born one, I still am one. And I was pro for a while. I was. But talk about, you know, hours and hours and hours and hours. But the creative family archetype, this can be all sorts of different ways that the athlete can manifest in your life. And an archetype can show up for a reason, a season, or an entire lifetime. So the shadow attribute is the toxic stuff you don't want to look at. The light is what you are shooting for. This is the alchemy. Lead has 3 more atoms than gold. Mathematical alchemy here on Drawing the Circle Productions. Please don't make me do math. The shadow attribute, misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends. We've seen it. False sense of invulnerability and entitlement. Yeah, right. Come on. Come on, come on. I've dated a quarterback. I know exactly what that's about. The light attribute, dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps. Christopher Reeve. Right. There you have it. Development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. So it's not just all about, track and field and all that jazz. It's kind of hot, but, whatever. Aries. Let's keep going. Heart, third eye crown. Next chakra's down from that. Daughters of the Moon Tarot, which this is usually where the shadow work and the alchemy goes down. Heart, third eye crown stuff. The internal world, your feminine energy. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon my goddesses of fire, the sign of Aries, powers of the south. What's going on? Heart, third eye crown. Nah, no kickers today. With this Aries collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, watching this video, receiving this reading. What do they need to be aware of inside of themselves? The alchemy, the inside, right underneath that athlete archetype, this full to new. Good. Eight of Pentacles, perfect. The learner. In this deck, a crone teaching a maiden how to weave a blanket. There's one in the background because she's been doing it before this maiden was born. So this is putting the head down, but yet there is a learning curve here. This can absolutely be, in other words, a pentacle on the inner is usually about wisdom that comes as a result of experience. Knowledge plus experience equals wisdom, right? Just reading the book ain't it. You have knowledge. Can you incarnate it, right, into your actions, into your world? So I can feel that with the athlete. That's perfect. You're not quite at the 10 inside where you really want to be. This can even be perfect example, practice, rehearsal, right? Depending, it's creative archetype. I mean, even if that is a literal arty, crafty thing like sculpting or pottery, which I probably would not be good with a pottery wheel. I'm a little too feline. I think my claws would get into it and it would end up all over the place. But that it's that learning process, the learner. This feels really yummy. Maybe you're not aware of how much wisdom you actually have here. So let's look at the lower three chakras, the masculine energy, how this shows up in the outside world. You from the outside looking in at yourself, or you at the inside looking out at something in the lower three chakra physical world. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon my gods of fire, the sign of Aries, powers of the south, please, one card in clarity, the mythic tarot, lower three chakras, the masculine vibe here. From the outside looking in at them horizontally, inside them looking out at something horizontally, maybe both, involving the athlete archetype power being developed through the Eight of Pentacles on the inner, which is certainly a sign of that development. And the Death card, meaning that you are going through an external transformation. Probably you are creating your reality in a way where you are in the crucible. I mean, the Death card really is alchemy. Alchemy is about transformation from lead to gold, shadow to light, pain to peace. But each and every one of us has a highly individualized curriculum of how we do that. Sure, forgiveness, shadow work, those are words. But how you get into, through, and out it is a highly individualized curriculum. So let's just go back here for a second. The second part, development of personal willpower and strength of spirit, sounds like an Aries challenge to me. And you guys are good at it, You really, really are. It's like, I don't care. I'm going to do it. All right. So guides, masters, teachers, gods, goddesses. Let's look at the Ascended Masters here, the Matt Kahn Healing Mantra deck. I'm going to read all of, there are 3 book reads here, but honestly, the authors are so detailed in some of them, I can't possibly remember them all. So I'm just going to read segments. This really, with the athlete, this is probably all within yourself. This may not be about anybody else. Please take a nice deep breath. The energy is getting a little ungrounded here. And I'm a Virgo, and I've had a very stable morning, so I call upon the Ascended Masters. General Assembly here. We have no idea what this is about in such a general reading. Please, what is the perfect healing mantra for the Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video? Athlete archetype in the 8th under that. The 8 of Pentacles, the learner, heart, third eye crown, the Death card. This can be their whole external world is transforming, whose isn't, but major arcana, not just a change, a transformation. And certainly that could be looking at them, that they are metamorphosizing as a result of the shadow work available to them. The healing mantra to help them through that, this full to new. Healing heartbreak. My heart will love again. An athlete healing heartbreak. I wonder what the third word is that's in the title. You know, and I don't, because timey-wimey. I think this one, really, let's hear. Matt Kahn is so good. He's so good. He's really getting some really high vibe stuff, not just because my guides agree with him, but because you talk about things resonating. Healing heartbreak. My heart will love again. I'm sure there's a song. Right? When heartbreak is healed, you are able to learn and grow from each relationship, no matter who you believe is to blame. So this kind of does put it in a soul contract context, which is hard to say. As heartbreak is seen as life's way of breaking your heart open to expand the love you are able to give and receive, it becomes easier to pick up the pieces of your innocence and invite greater intimacy into your life. I'll sign on the dotted line on that one. Absolutely. Heartbreak. What is it? Expectations are the seeds of heartbreak or something like that. And this doesn't have to be a romantic thing. This can totally be about an artist, right? I have the artist archetype, the athlete archetype teamed up with the artist. Sacred Contracts, Carolyn May's brilliant book. I have the artist, Kronos. I have the athlete, Kairos. Comes and goes, right? I'm not always in full-on athlete part, but I'm always an artist. Spiritual artist. Divination's my spiritual art, my mystical art. So I can get that there has been heartbreak. If this is an occupation thing, in other words, something that you are occupying your time and your creativity with, as well as if this is something that you are monetized for, making money for. I can completely resonate right now about that idea of having to learn or really learning new things, gaining new wisdom, the experience that you got here. But there's a heartbreak, a big disappointment. Now, the reason why I say I will sign on the dotted line of that, oh, by the way, there's a little bit more here. This card is ideal for dealing with resentment, releasing the past, and healing grief. You just can't beat that for a waning moon. But that idea, but don't mind if I fall apart. There's more love in a broken heart. Carly Simon, 19, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, no, that there is great power here for you, but I'm telling you, I'm sorry, my fire signs, I hope you have some water planets in there, but this shadow work is emotional, and because there's wisdom in there you might not realize you have. You will love again. You will love again. You will love again. That's beautiful. All right. Let's take the party turner cards, or as they're called by everybody else on planet Earth, the Whispers of Love Oracle, because all of a sudden, romance. Let's see. Let's see what the higher selves have to say here. Please take a nice deep breath. I will tell you this, once you've had big disappointments in your creative career and you rise from those ashes, because the Death card's more about rising from the ashes than going to, or somewhere in between, right? New opportunities do arrive, and you get more freedom and more fun, but there's always going to be challenges. So I call upon the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. Please, what is the whisper of love for the Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading with the athlete in the 8th, learner on the inner, death on the outer, healing heartbreak? What do you got for them? Their whisper of love, this full to new. Rest and relaxation is essential work. That time of the year here, in the hemispheres, northern and western. Here in New York, rest and relaxation is essential. We all have a fundamental need to take breaks. So, I know dancers. I've lived with dancers. Like I said, I am still a dancer, but I lived with professional dancers and all of that. Brutal. If they don't rest, it's not good. It's not good. To integrate. So even if you're not like a literal athlete, you have to rest. You have to go through this process in a way that is wise and understand you are learning this stuff too. And I don't care if someone's like, oh, I've been doing shadow work since I was born. I'm like, well, but we never quite see the next time the trapdoor to the underworld takes us down, right? It's always a learning curve. And yeah, the gods aren't thrilled with hubris, by the way. So rest and relaxation, slow it down. There's another card in this deck, slow down. But it is essential here, particularly if you are, as an Aries, inflamed. But I'm talking about inflammation in the body, inflammation in the nervous system, and of course, that's going to make a big difference with the healing of the heartbreak. Yeah, the emotional work. There's probably some biological stress in here too, is essentially what I'm saying. Let's work with the Divine Animals Oracle next. Love this deck. So much information packed into this teeny tiny little itty bitty book, but don't worry, it's all in nano font, so I've got to... It sounds like the future age hierophant, the nano font. So let's see, who are the spirit animals or totems working with you on this? Breathe. Such a different vibe. As I call upon the spirit animals and totems for the Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, please, beloved ones, who walks with them, who swims with them, who flies with them, who crawls with them. This new moon to full moon with the athlete in their 8th chakra, the learner on the inner, death on the outer, healing heartbreak with rest and relaxation being essential. This full to new, November, December. Oh, you got the bull. No, not a Taurus card, but, you know, horns. Number 40, sacrifice. Now, don't freak out. To sacrifice means to make sacred, but there is also an aspect of release. That's why blood magic tends to get so much like, woo, because you need your blood. Skin cells, not so much, right? They're going to flake off anyway, but your blood you need. So, but it is in a sacred exchange usually. And look up Mithras, M-I-T-H-R-A-S. It's a long mythology. So I don't remember if this has a specific Greek myth connected to it, because the little mini chapters in each one, they're chapters. They go into the mythos, yeah. The actual behavior of the animal. It's a really wonderful deck, and a dear shaman friend of mine uses these regularly. All right, so I'm just going to give you the beginning and the ending of this. Card number 40, the bull. Try and breathe this in. Sacrifice. All worthwhile things mean we must sacrifice something. Martyrdom is rarely a good choice. Great. It is good to trust your tribe. Have faith that all will be well. Reciprocity and offering to something bigger than you is a powerful act. Now there you go. Something bigger than you. Now that need not necessarily be in the outside world, and honestly, with the death card going out on there, I'm going to say go to your higher power. This is about healing. But the nature of the sacrifice to make something sacred. How about a sacred weekend? Doesn't mean you have to pack up and go to some ashram, but you do you. Hey, if you can pull it off, do it. But to say, no, this weekend, really, seriously, cell phones off. And I'm taking sacred time. I'm going to sacrifice this weekend to my own healing, which means I'm saying no to everything else unless the house is on fire, in single air quotes, because I'm holding the book open. The last little part of this is the magic. Most societies no longer sacrifice bulls like our ancestors did. Yes, thank you very much. There are some Tauruses, I know, never mind. But the concept of sacrifice remains. Absolutely. Bull energy can help you make the sacrifices you may need to make in order to support your work or something you desire, which as an athlete, it can be about, all right, well, I'm going to sacrifice some time doing some other things to get the rest that I need. Important, otherwise burnouts, it's just going to happen. How can you not burn out? Bull magic can also be used to move yourself out of the sacrificial or martyrdom position you may have fallen into. That's good to know. I call upon the power of the bull to pull me out of martyrdom. That felt good in my body as an earth sign. Many of us continually sacrifice our own needs over and over and over and become unhealthily selfless as a result. Yeah, it's called the divine feminine paradigm much. This only breeds resentment and extreme neediness, which is very damaging to our growth. Oh, work. That is so on the money here, particularly if you are so in love with whatever your creativity is. And remember, it's not all about arts and crafts or performing arts. Creativity, you can be an athletic creator in all sorts of different ways, even in terms of creating your reality. Work. Okay, last card down, the hidden blessing, right? Because we don't often see the hidden blessing before the alchemy, before the letting go, before the shadow work. But to give you a little clue, a little insight into the gold that might be at the end of this leaded alchemy. The pantheons of pantheons, essentially the collective pantheons of all concerned, but it is a Celtic deck. And whose deck is that, Mark? Mal, who? What is this? This is the mystical blessing cards to enrich and empower, called Blessed Be by Lucy Cavendish. I have not said her name in weeks. I was getting a little itchy. Please take a nice deep breath. Just because I'm fun and goofy doesn't mean I'm not good. I've been doing this since I am 12 years old. I am 53. Yes, I know I don't look at thanks, but I think at this point, we're allowed to have some fun with this. Even shadow work. As I call to the pantheon of pantheons, please, one card in clarity for the Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, watching this video, receiving this reading. What is the hidden blessing in all of this? The gold that will be left at the end of the alchemy once led, L-E-A-D and then L-E-D to the gold. With this athlete archetype above them in the 8th chakra, they're shooting for dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, development of personal willpower, 3rd chakra, and strength of spirit with the learner on the inner to get that it is they need to be aware. It's a learning process here. Well, because they're going through a death phase on the outside, either in the world in which they create, artistically, business-wise, whatever, personally, but it seems to be both, that there is a real learning that they're getting as a result from that while they're healing heartbreak. And the mantra, my heart will love again, their heart will love again. And so rest and relaxation is essential because there is an aspect of sacrifice here, of making something sacred rather than just loss. It's not about loss, it's about a voluntary thing, but also if there is martyrdom here for that bull magic to kind of pull them out of that. What's the hidden blessing of this? Should they go there this full to new November, December? A blessing to find your way. Work. A blessing to find your way? Are you kidding me? Through a death phase, right? Oh my God. Excellente. Card number 24. A blessing to find your way. Yeah, I can read all of this. I think this will be worth it. And I got my Torch of Ariel here, so I'm going to actually give you the blessing as it comes out. Please take a nice deep breath. Card number 24. A blessing to find your way. A blessing for when we find ourselves utterly lost and unsure of which way to go. Whichever direction we turn in seems to be dense and dark as the other. There is no one to show us the way. There is no light with which to see the path. There is no map for where you find yourself. When we find ourselves in that space where we are utterly bereft of where to turn, of what to do, of whom to trust, let this blessing help you find your way once again. That's just the preamble. You once knew where you were headed. You once knew who you were. You once could trust in that inner compass that would help you turn and walk to true north of your life. But now you are lost. You are without direction and seem only to entangle yourself more with every turn and twist as you seek to escape. This blessing will help you still your movement, rest and relaxation, and rekindle the quiet knowing within you once again. Breathe. May you surrender to this moment and let yourself be still and quiet a while. May you seek not to move, but to observe and to feel and to come back into connection with yourself. May you feel the reweaving of yourself with yourself. And as you do this, may you be blessed with the sight to pierce the darkness and see what lies ahead. When that moment comes, may you begin to feel your compass stir and turn and point to a path. May you begin to rediscover who you are, and in that rediscovery, come of a relaxed and graceful certainty may begin to deliver you from this period of vulnerability, yet let the gifts of understanding and compassion, of the inner knowing which can unite us all, be with you always, which is that Eight of Pentacles. For you have been lost, and in the acceptance of that, and in the strange comforting rest of that, rest and relaxation, may you now give yourself the space and time to allow your core to speak to you again. For its voice was dulled by the noise of the world and the apparent certainty of knowing who we are. When we lose that, we can finally have the moment in which we can see the soul clearly, without bias and cliche. We find ourselves through the losing of who we thought we were and where we thought we ought to go. May this process of loss and re-enrichment bring you the blessings of your own self, for the well-being of all and with harm to none. As we will it, so let it be done. So mote it be. And so it is. Wow. The athlete, the learner, the death card. Your heart will love again. Rest and relax. There's a sacrifice going on, but it's a blessing to find your way to sacrifice to the divine. This is just what I thought was going to happen. Really, really cool. And you know what? These waxing and waning moon reads, the 5-card and the 7-card draw, will of course continue on Facebook, but my extended reads for the other ones, Path of True Love reads, work, career, vocation reads, all that other stuff, extendeds are going to be bottom tier, first thing on Patreon, basic subscription, whatever they call it. So this full moon, get ready, I'm going to be launching. I got a lot of work to do until then, and I hope you will check it out. And if you'd like to book me for a private read, there's a link in the description box for a video booking or reading with Mel. Thank you so much, my beloved, and by all means, if you need help, you reach out for this, but rest and relaxation first, because I know what athletes are like when they can't do their thing. Rest and relax, my beloveds. Wishing you all the very best and the very blessed of this full to new November into December 2021, my beloved goats. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.